You got to forgive my voice. I just came off a podcast prior to this, speaking straight for an hour. So I'll slow it down and calm down my voice. Again, the barcode operation. In order to do that, you have to have a barcode that creates connectivity to an Israeli intelligence collection platform. The bar has to be linked to hacking tools that are very sensitive hacking tools. Anybody who's been involved in cyber warfare or things of that nature, just look. Do you remember Vault 7, the WikiLeaks thing of the CIA hacking tools, and how, excuse my language, pissed off the United States became when Vault 7 tools were put out there? Right. Guys, you're missing something here. Hezbollah keeps sending rockets into Israel, and the Iron Dome isn't shooting them down. They're pounding the crap out of places that haven't been pounded before, causing thousands of more Israelis to flee. So Netanyahu's political objective of returning the 60,000 has become a political nightmare, because it's now going to become returning the 80,000 or returning the 100,000, which he's not going to do until there's a ceasefire in Gaza, which is a decision he's trying to avoid. I think what he's doing with Lebanon is creating the potential of a crisis, the consequences of which far exceed the consequences of him agreeing to a ceasefire, so that he can make some sort of domestic political exchange saying, I'm avoiding this conflict based upon posturing of strength. And in return, we have to swallow this poison pill. He's trying to get that sort of calculus in place, because right now, as things stands, if he accepts a ceasefire in Gaza, he's finished politically. Even if he gets the hostages back, he's not going to survive once the Israeli population starts looking at October 7th and his response to that. It's tough to recover from that, unless he can create some other issue that because of the scope and scale of the consequences of allowing this to spin out of control, it offsets the political damage done through the series. That's his calculation. I don't think he succeeds. I think no matter what, he will be compelled to accept a ceasefire, and his government will collapse, and that's the end of Netanyahu. But he's going to drag this thing out as long as possible, and that's what's going on in southern Lebanon. This is all about Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not about anything else. First of all, Hezbollah doesn't operate in a vacuum. So Iran and Hezbollah have coordinated this scenario for, again, 18 years. Hezbollah's defenses, which are designed to absorb far more punishment than Israel is delivering, were designed, with the Iranians assisting, knowledgeable of, advising on. And these are defenses that are linked to political objectives. Again, to buy into this notion, you'd have to accept two things. One, that Nasrallah had given up on Lebanon, which he's not going to do. Because to say, we need Iran to attack now implies general war and all that entails. No. And two, that Hezbollah had given up on Hamas, because an all-out war involving Iran and Israel creates a whole different problem set that the world is incapable of, chewing gum and walking at the same time. Right now, the world's chewing on the gum of Hamas, and it's tough. They're having trouble doing that. But for the first time in a long time, people are talking about the creation of a Palestinian state. There's movement in that direction. Israel's lost the moral authority around the world. These are things realities that didn't exist on October 6th that exist today, that are to the strategic detriment of Israel. And it's all because of the resistance of Hamas. But you get a general war with Iran and Hezbollah and regional disruption of energy security. And suddenly people have high prices, collapsed economies, and nobody's going to give a damn about Hamas anymore, or Gaza, or the Palestinians. They have bigger issues. And Iran and Hezbollah know this. They didn't do all what they've done to get Israel in this bad position just to throw it all away by saying, screw it, let's have the big war. So I don't believe that Hezbollah reached out to Iran. First of all, they wouldn't need to reach out to Iran, because Iran and Hezbollah have coordinated this. It's like, I don't know. I was going to use an analogy nobody will understand, so I won't use it. But um, but the point is, they've already coordinated all this. There's no need for Hezbollah to call an audible at this stage. There's nothing that's happened that's unexpected. It's all anticipated. So that's absurd. I think this was inserted to generate the kind of discussions that you're seeing, because Israel knows that it's lost the PR campaign so far, and so what they need to do is create some sort of information warfare based pressure on Hezbollah. But again, Hezbollah is not amateurs at this. I guess they were hoping to get the Lebanese people to lose faith and confidence in Hezbollah, to create discussions amongst them about the consequences of a broader war. But again, as I said, I've been to Iran, and I was deeply impressed with the intelligence of the Iranian people. I haven't been to Lebanon. I landed in Beirut airport once, but that was a different story altogether. Didn't want to be there, plane diverted. And I was an active duty Marine Corps officer in an airport controlled by Hezbollah. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. Fortunately, I stayed on the plane. They left me alone and we got out of there. But that was a different story. But they want to create, I think by doing this, they're trying to indirectly create pressure amongst the Lebanese population and the Arab population as a whole that questions, Hezbollah's status. They're trying to undermine that. Hezbollah is going to ride this thing out. As I said, and as you noted, they haven't stopped the Hezbollah shelling of northern Israel. It's expanded. They're striking Haifa. They can expand it to Tel Aviv if that's the game that Israel wants to play. And you see the Israelis already starting to panic and looking for an off-ramp off of this because, they didn't achieve what they thought they were going to achieve with Hezbollah. The Iranians are very mature. Hezbollah is very mature.